better for the state, in my opinion. But also like to point out, as far as getting a hold of us, I won't speak for Joe, but Joe and I are very accessible. What we do like about this position is we each represent right around 3,200 people. And we've heard from a lot of them. I think that's great. That's great local representation at its best. That's why there's 400 of us down there. If anyone needs to contact me, one of the best ways is email, and that is nhreps, R-E-P-S, at yahoo.com. You can get me that way. And once you're there, I have more contact information if you want to get a hold of me.
And everybody has access to my phone. I take it. You can call me at the house. I do respond to phone calls. I have an answering machine. If I'm not right there, I'll get back to you. And also, for email, I prefer my personal email, which is jflec@roadrunner.com, rather than the State House email. So I try to keep that just for the business side of it, but for constituents, I like to use the my personal email.
Yeah, we'll be putting all that on our website so that anybody that goes to the town website can have access to this information.
That's great.
And Dino, I do thank you for that information. It's been a big help.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I would recommend not calling my house. Your message will get lost in either a 12-year-old or 11-year-old's head or penmanship. So either my cell phone or the email is probably the best way.
Anybody in the audience have any questions for them?
Got one.
Were you able to override the regional greenhouse gas initiative?
No.
Do you remember what the vote of that was?
It was rather close. It was the Senate where it fell down. We had it in the House, but the Senate did not carry that override.
Are you still doing ballots and stuff?
I'm a tax collector.
Tax collector, okay.
Jenny's
still doing it?
Jenny's
Okay.
still doing it, yeah.
Like I said, Ernie, when that does come back up for voter ID again, I do want to sit down with your officials, with your permission, and kind of pick their brain, because from my understanding, it was the provisional ballot that was the real hang-up. So we'll deal with that next year, I think.
I'd be glad to talk to you.
Great.
Yeah, that will come up again.
That definitely will come up again, yeah.
And I just want to thank you for coming. We'll disseminate it widely.
I appreciate that. Joe, I was telling him we don't get here enough, but there's such a well-oiled machine in town that they don't need our services.
Well, it's always a pleasure to come in.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Whether it's here or the old townhouse, it's always been great. I don't want to get on the political side, but when we've had political activities over there, or even the Historical Society, it's been a great place to be, and it is a warm feeling. It's a very historic place, and it's great.
But the acoustics in here are much better.
Oh, they are. They are.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything? In that case, we'll go to the approval of the minutes.
I had one correction that I emailed. Did you get my?
I did. I didn't know if you were going to announce it to see.
Or did you incorporate it?
No, I just got it.
Okay.
Well, I didn't, and then I remembered when you sent your thing, please tell me if there's a problem, and I just got that. Our machine's been down. Anyway, there was only one thing that I picked off that I think needs to be addressed when we were discussing the yard sales and all that, and I brought up about the signage along the road. I believe you, Mr. Brown, mentioned that that's a state issue as far as anybody's concern regards to signs along the highway, and I think somehow that should be noted. That they have a problem. It's the highway department, I assume? By a state issue? Yeah, state highway
Yeah.
district?
Do you want to put it, where did you want to?
Second paragraph.
Second paragraph under Anderson yard sale, you just added down at the end
I'll just add
that
okay.
the issue of signs on Route 109 is a combination state and police department issue.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Do you have anything? And you?
Nope.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Moving right along. Mr. Fogg might or might not be here sometime this evening.
Okay.
In which case, if he's not, we'll put him on another time. Now we'll go right to the treasurer's report, and she will not be with us this evening. She did give us a copy of the previous month's, and I just gave you a copy, budget figures for us to look at.
Okay.
She also sent off an email to Salmon Falls Architecture. I'm looking for an answer on when we can start putting plastic underneath the townhouse and doing some of the energy things.
Mhm.
And so she sent off an email to them. We should have an answer sometime this week on when we can move forward on some of the issues that will not affect its historical value. Diane, tax collector.
Yes, sir. You know,
You've been busy.
yeah, I have been busy with quirky stuff. I want to talk a little bit about the tax map 18, lot 4B and 4C. That is the property that I was given a warrant to put into current use, to remove from current use. This was figured out and decided by our assessing company back many months ago. And since then, it has been changed, and we were supposed to have figured it differently.
We or
As you
they?
know.
They.
For us, we're supposed to have figured it differently. We have finally got that squared away with a letter to them, but prior to that, I would like to give you, at the time the original warrant was sent out to them, it was not done properly. Our assessor clerk at that time sent it out herself, whereas it is supposed to come to me. I do a bill just the same as I do any other bill for any other warrant I receive, and I send it out. It was not done that way, and unfortunately the original warrants and forms for them was sent to the property owner at that time. When I discovered that this was all done incorrectly, I said, oh, whoa, wait a minute, no. The warrants come to me, I send out the bill. And you never, never, never send the original copy of anything to the property owner, because Carroll County Registry of Deeds will not accept a copy. They have to have the original, and they're very, very persnickety about it. So consequently, I wrote to the owners at that time, explained the situation, sent them the proper bill, and asked them to please send me back the originals. Ho ho. That never happened. With this property, the current use or land use change tax bills that went out were never paid. So consequently, this property went to tax lien along with all the other property taxes. In essence, what that means is the current use change tax was paid by the town of Brookfield, which means I have got to, at this point, first thing I need to do, and I probably should have done it sooner, is get you guys to sign a new original warrant so that I can remove this current use change tax from the Carroll County Registry of Deeds. And that's what I have here. Also, since that
So you're removing the original one?
the
Yes.
original one.
Original.
This is bookkeeping, basically,
Okay.
but it has to be removed. Also, the Registry of Deeds has informed me now that they will not accept two-sided documents. They want all their documents
One-sided.
one-sided, which means we have two of these forms to be signed, and what you sign is the second page next to your name. Of course, I realize this was all done prior to you being a selectman. Jessica and I discussed it at great length last Friday and said, well, basically this is a bookkeeping and a housekeeping situation to remove this lien. I don't believe the Carroll County Registry of Deeds will care which way it is, because they haven't got any copies of it yet anyway. So we have two of those for the both of you to sign.
Taxing gets much more complicated. It used to be,
As years go by, it gets much
if
more
something
complicated.
was brought out of current use, the whole lot came out of current use. Today, if they only prepare a house site, the house site comes out, but the rest of that lot, maybe an acre and a half, has to stay at a separate tax billing rate, which makes things a little complicated.
Actually, I must just as well stay up here. I just,
You'll take 11 as 2011, not 1911.
2011.
We'll accept that as.
Are you going off of that subject, or
And I'm staying on the same
stay on
subject.
subject? Okay.
It's still
We'll
on
do
the same
this too.
subject.
We need a new abatement signed, so.
Okay, since then, there was a letter that was sent that I'm sure you have copies of from Gary Roberge at Habitat, instructing us how he felt we should handle the situation. He felt as though half acre should be taken out of each one of the lots and assessed as a half acre out of current use. The remaining 2.014 acres would stay in current use. And he gave us the amounts that we should use. The new assessment and also the new tax amount that they should be taxed and the land use change tax. This will involve a abatement being granted for the difference in the amount. I wrote a letter, well, first of all, to back up a little bit, Ernie asked me to call. My first thought was to just take the whole thing out of current use, to abate the whole thing and start over again. Ernie asked me to call Laura Spector and get her opinion on it. And she emailed me back and she said that she felt as though it would be in the best interest of the town for this to stay in current use and do as Gary had suggested, just take out the part that fit the criteria that should be taken out and leave the rest in. That is what was done. And I have sent him a letter informing of this, and I have a copy of the letter for each of you, and also handwritten on the back is how I came to the figures that I came to, because there are things that cannot be done within our system. One thing is that we cannot abate interest. We can abate principal, but we cannot abate interest, but